You're watching an exclusive high-definition broadcast of HDNet Fights.
Hey everyone, I'm Ron Kruk, and this is HDNet Fights, Tomorrow's Champions. Tonight, we'll introduce you to some of the future stars of mixed martial arts. These are the guys that are currently flying under the radar, taking care of their business and winning bouts, but not getting much publicity for it. With many of the current MMA stars growing older, this new generation of fighters is poised to take the reins and show the MMA world what they're all about. We begin with 26-year-old Charlie Brenneman from Pennsylvania. The former Spanish teacher tasted victory before he started his MMA career when he won the initial Pros vs. Joes competition on Spike TV. Last November, he made it to the finals of the Ring of Combat's Beast of the Northeast tournament and was matched up against hard-hitting Mark Berrocal. Someone must have wound Brenneman up because he came out firing.
It's scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds, but if there is a draw at the end of those, because this is the championship belt on the line, they will go to a 4th decisive round.
They're feeling each other out, but I think this will favor Berrocal. He's got heavy hands.
Brenneman feels comfortable the longer the fight progresses. He believes after that unanimous decision victory, the only time he's gone the distance in his career, coming just weeks ago in this tournament, felt that gave him the confidence. Wow. He gets the takedown here early of Berrocal.
He got a great bit of leverage on that bear hug and just folded Berrocal over.
Look at that, moves up in full mount and gets positioned and starts getting the punches in early. Again, blows to the side of the head.
Oh, almost had the rear naked. Berrocal doing a nice job of defending his neck and moving up at the same time. He doesn't get caught.
Brenneman not wasting any time. When this bell rang, he came out on the offensive. And again, he couldn't get that choke in early. He'll throw some punches to the side of the head.
It's basically a cross body ride in wrestling. Now he scooped the ankle and in a good position. He's
good
just overwhelming.
He is all over. Charlie Brenneman is giving Berrocal very little breathing room. And Berrocal is not able to defend himself very much right now. He's trying to get to the corner, see if he can crawl away from this as quickly as possible. But Brenneman right now, relentless. He wants to get that belt, this young fighter who just turned pro back in July.
He's just winging leather. He doesn't care where it lands. Doesn't want to punch himself out either.
Well, I was going to say, you know, even absorbing some of these punches, Berrocal still hanging in there, trying to hold on, and now he's up on his knee trying to stand up. And now going for the rear naked choke is Charlie Brenneman.
He's able to defend the rear naked choke, but he's still on bottom. And back is taken by Brenneman, and he is not leaving it. Good rider.
Yeah, Berrocal has avoided a submission, several punches. Once again, here's the rear naked choke attempt by Brenneman.
This is a much better position for Brenneman now. He's got both heel hooks in. He's arched. His opponent is flat.
Now he just keeps throwing those punches in, and you wonder at what point here, Charlie, what can Berrocal do, if anything at all? Kevin Mahon, the referee, looking on intently.
That's what he can do. He can turn to face his opponent. I realize you're giving up mount, but geez, when your back is taken, the fight might get ended. So it's worth taking the chance to continue fighting, putting yourself in a worse position. But Berrocal able to survive. And you got to think that Brenneman here has got to feel a little bit of arm weariness.
Well, Brenneman talked about his conditioning coming into this. It's being tested right now. He has exerted all of the energy in this fight. It's come from the man in the red trunks as he continues to try to get some punches in there.
And what I like about Brenneman is he's like riding and wrestling. He's just keeping hip to hip, floating, and throwing punches. He doesn't care whether he twists underneath them. He's just going to continue to throw the leather.
Now we'll see some elbows for the first time. He tried to get a couple in.
It looked like an arm bar was sitting there. He didn't take it. He knows, hey, he's got him on the ropes, literally. And he is winning this fight. He might put it away.
Once again, he tried to get that choke in there, couldn't do so. But he still has total control here of Mark Berrocal.
He's going to come up with his leg in again, and he can start punching again. And one of Berrocal's arm is trapped. The right arm is on the leg, so it is pulled back.
I wonder how many punches that Brenneman's thrown. Not necessarily landed, but just thrown.
And I love what Brenneman just did. I learned this when I was out training, and that is you scoot your butt back and you could have dropped into a guillotine. You let it go, but got it. It looked like it was there.
Berrocal now on his feet for the first time in what seems like forever. And that was momentary.
Good strikes right there.
And Brenneman continues to go to work. There's 10 seconds, and Mark Berrocal is going to hold on here to go to round 2 in this Beast of the Northeast welterweight championship. As you look at Charlie Brenneman, I tell you, that guy threw about 75 to 100 punches, didn't he? And he's not breathing hard.
At least, and this is how it all started. Good bear hug, and he just folds him right over, and Brenneman never left that position. He was on top, throwing leather, and Kenny, I think it might have been more than 75 punches he threw.
I was being conservative, I guess. Yeah, you're right. It was amazing. And obviously, Berrocal's able to hold up. It wasn't like they were just raining blows on him where he's taking punishing hits. But it was a very active Charlie Brenneman who dominated that round.
Oh, without question. He's got a big round right there. We got Berrocal right above us. There's no blood. There's no real swelling, no welts. So he's good to go as well, but it had to be frustrating. He was trapped. He couldn't get out. Every time he did, either a rear naked choke or leather hit him.
Round 2. I looked up again. Right there he is. I didn't recognize Berrocal standing up. As we go into round 2.
Yeah, he spent some time down, but watch out for his fists. But geez, he came in too close.
Getting that takedown once again is Brenneman. He went for that single leg. You see him holding on there, and he puts Berrocal on his back.
But this is a better position for Berrocal because he's starting from within the guard. Oh, some short elbows. Those are mean. And the reason I think elbows are pretty good is it doesn't take you out of position the way a punch would. If you throw heavy leather, your whole body moves. But with the elbows, they're short, they drop, they use gravity. And yes, I do admit, they cut faster than a punch will.
And you see, again, Berrocal, I think these are the first punches he's even attempted to throw in this fight.
But he does have KO power, so even late in this round or the next round, he potentially could end the fight. But
full mount again is Brenneman. Now given to back is Berrocal.
And this is not where Berrocal wants to be. I think this is probably going to end the fight here.
This is like an instant replay of the first.
Brenneman just won't give up that top position. And Berrocal tried standing up, and every time he did, right there comes the rear naked choke.
We'll see Brenneman on a couple of occasions tried it in the first round. He continues to put the pressure on here in the second round on Berrocal.
Because he's on his side, he can't quite sink it the way he wants to. He can get pressure there, but... And see, he's actually talking to the ref, it looked like. Berrocal good at defending that.
Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of the arm swinging there. None of those punches doing any damage right now.
Half guard, and even though he's caught in a chokehold right now, side choke. Our referee in perfect position to observe this. You see his foot right there. And what he's doing is making sure Berrocal just doesn't go out.
Kevin Mahon looking on, and Berrocal, as if he knows that, you see him throwing some punches to the side of Charlie Brenneman.
Berrocal's got no neck. He can't be choked.
Yeah, good point. Brenneman has a very small target there to work with when he's going for that rear naked choke or any kind of choke submission on Berrocal.
Oh, nice. Nice jump to side mount. Now he gave up splitting the legs. Let's see what he's going to try to move up to here. Full mount again.
Well, he's been in this position before in this round and pretty much all of the first round.
Oh, those are punishing, and Berrocal will turn his back again. Say, I'm not going to eat elbows, so try and get me here.
We could show this. We could probably right now do a split screen with the first round.
And this looks identical.
It's the same thing. We could repeat the first round at this moment. You wouldn't know the difference. The only thing here is while Berrocal, we certainly have to give him a lot of credit here for his conditioning to be able to take punches and stay right in there. At some point, he's got to go on the offensive.
Yeah, right now that's going to end it. 2 hands up on the side of the head.
And that is it.
Is going to end the fight.
That is it. Charlie Brenneman has finally put away Mark Berrocal.
And it took a while.
Referee stopping it here in the second round. And this was all Brenneman from the start of this fight. From the very start of this fight, he controlled it, and never once did Berrocal make even a threat that he was ready to take charge of this fight. However, he did hang in there.
Yes, he did. And I'll tell you what, I was a little disappointed. Berrocal has good hands, and he just pushed it a little too hard at the start of that second round and gave Brenneman the chance to take him down again.
So some of these are coming from the side.
Yeah, most of them are, but see, when the hands are cupped like that over the ears and the fingers are up like that, that is not an intelligent defense. That is, I want to put my head in a hole and not get hit, and the referee will stop it.
Some could almost argue it wasn't too intelligent in the first round.
Well, you know, you could say that, but we didn't see punishment.
And there is Charlie Brenneman. He is the winner of the welterweight belt. And now let's get the official time.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 3 minutes and 54 seconds of round 2, there was a ref stoppage due to unanswered blows. The Ring of Combat, Beast of the Northeast, welterweight championship goes to Charlie Brenneman.
Brenneman probably threw about 100 strikes in that first round alone. This guy is an exciting fighter who will leave it all in the ring. With the win over Berrocal, Brenneman remains undefeated with an impressive 4-0 record. Next up, we introduce you to some of the rising stars from the International Fight League. Long Island, New York's Hieron recently moved to Las Vegas to train full-time with Randy Couture's Extreme Couture. Since then, his fight game has evolved tremendously. Known as the Thoroughbred, Hieron has always relied on his heart, aggression, and wrestling skills in the ring. Now he can add a solid stand-up game to his resume, as Delson Heleno found out the hard way at the IFL Grand Prix Finals in Connecticut.
Heleno should fake a takedown, come over with a punch. Maybe that's a good thing to do right now. Let Jay think that it's a takedown, so he brings his hands down to put the underhooks in, and then come over with an overhand right. Ho-ho! Oh, wait.
And look at Hieron again scoring. Hieron knocks him down. Hieron.
3 seconds.
Put it away. Hieron. Is he going to be saved? Is Heleno saved by the bell?
Saved by the bell. No. It looks like he's out.
He is out.
Something happened. I think something happened to his head. I don't know.
His mouthpiece came flying out.
I think he broke his finger or something. You watch. No.
We have not gotten the official indication yet, though.
It's not a knockout. It's something he's in pain for.
I think he's saved by the bell. I'm guessing that. Either way, he's a hurt fighter.
Yeah, maybe it is his knee. Maybe it's his knee. Yeah. the knees there.
Clearly, Jay Hieron was only a second or two away from just ending this completely. No question asked.
Whoa. And he was on him once he hit him. Oh, like flies on honey. Bees on honey made that. Because the other one I can't say.
Again. Nice. Perfect.
Well,
perfect,
Jay
perfect.
Hieron certainly went back to the sweet science tonight because he was a boxer this evening against Delson Heleno, the outstanding jiu-jitsu specialist.
Yep.
Here we see the end of the first round. And this wraps it up here as Jay Hieron goes to work on Heleno.
Oh,
Heleno's hurt right there.
Yeah, his knee is hurt or something, yeah. Because he put his fingers up, I thought maybe it was something with the glove, but yep, watch. Let's take a look. He missteps. He missteps.
He fell.
Yep.
There's no timeout allowed.
Oh, knees, uppercuts,
Yeah.
hooks, punches, everything. And everything on the money. Great performance here by Jay Hieron, but, you know, Heleno was hurt. Look. Yep, he says stop. Oh.
He's hurt there, but again, you can't call timeout.
No, but this. Yep.
And Hieron is the champion. Now it's official. We've got it settled. Jay Hieron with a first round victory over Delson Heleno. The IFL welterweight championship belt goes to Hieron.
Quickly becoming one of the most feared fighters in the International Fight League, Waggney Fabiano is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu expert. In fact, all 5 of Fabiano's IFL bouts have ended by way of submission, 4 of them in the first round. In the IFL's first ever featherweight bout, Fabiano took on Militich Fighting Systems' LC Davis for the 145-pound championship belt. With his track record for ending fights early, it's advised not to blink during this bout.
He's so different here. Almost, see, there it is. Oh!
And look at Davis sprung back up. And Fabiano pushes him against the ropes.
Oh! Yeah, Davis knows. Good escape here. It was almost like Davis was waiting for it till he went for that armbar, so he used that as an escape. Very smart.
Watching these two guys, it's like trying to catch lightning in a bottle as you look over at Pat Miller.
There you go, you're good.
Coach of LC Davis.
Don't let him have that. Don't let him.
Up.
Oh, too late, he got it.
That inside leg pick, it's working wonders for him.
Get your feet on his hips.
Fabiano going right back to work on the ground.
Yeah, figure 4 armbar.
30
there.
seconds. 30 seconds, LC. Watch that.
It's only 30 seconds, but we've seen him submit people in 5 seconds. There he's the armbar.
He's going for the
Up, this could be it. That's it, I told you.
Fabiano wins it.
I told you, don't blink. You give him an arm and he will take it.
First round, Waggney Fabiano with the armbar. LC Davis goes down for the first time in his career, and Fabiano wears the featherweight championship.
20 seconds left in round number 1, and I told you people at home, he can't pull it off, and bam, as I said it, he went for that arm. Whoa! The long arms of LC Davis are not working for him right now. Longer limbs are easier to submit.
As you look at the Davis family, high expectations coming in for a man who had never lost, but he had never faced a ground specialist as good as Waggney Fabiano.
You learn something from this, all right?
And there, Pat Militich, he says the right thing, you learn something from this.
Well, here he goes to work, boss. Fabiano, just as you said, you got to watch.
Got it. He's got it. He's so fast. Look the way he puts his knee to the left in order to push the head down from LC Davis. Textbook. Man, this guy is good. Look, with his left knee to the side. Push. Boom. Got him. Straight. Oh, beautiful.
No wasted energy with Waggney Fabiano. When he goes for the submission, he goes right to it, gets it done. And once again, he wins in the IFL. This time, though, he takes home a belt.
And yep, and again the first round. First, this is the fourth first round submission that he pulls off.
And he keeps that streak going here. He likes to make short work of his opponents. He can enjoy the rest of the evening as the first IFL World Grand Prix champion. Let's go back to the ring and get the official time of that victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout comes to an end at 3 minutes 38 seconds of that opening round by way of an armbar submission and tap out. Your winner and new featherweight champion of the International Fight League, Waggney Fabiano.
Going from the flyweights to the big boys, heavyweight Roy Nelson may not look like a bodybuilder, but he knows how to break a body down. Primarily known as a ground specialist, Nelson is surprisingly agile and quick on his feet. He also showed he has some dynamite in his fists when he took on Antoine Jaoude in the IFL Grand Prix Finals.
Round 2 of the heavyweight championship is on.
I bet you Roy Nelson's going to throw a lot of overhead rights because he was very effective with that in the first round. There we got one.
Nelson,
it could be it.
Down. Nelson is wanted. Nelson is the new champ.
Holy motown!
Let's see how he puts away Jaoude here in the second.
There was that overhead right. Beautifully timed. And another one right on the temple, too. Then jumping in there. Oh, here we go. Watch this. 2 solid. 1, first, 2. Stop. Nice referee work here.
Dan Mergliata, one of the few men in this building about as big as those two guys.
Yeah, who can actually stop a guy like him.
Alertly moving in and stopping this fight.
The IFL Grand Prix Championships wrapped up a successful year for the fight organization with some major upsets and a glance at some of the future stars of the league. HDNet Fights previewed some of their young guns as well in 2007. One fighter who left an impression with the MMA community was Tempe, Arizona's CB Dollaway. The former Arizona State wrestler went 5-0 last year and instantly became a force in the middleweight division. Our first look at the talented young fighter came at a steel cage event in Las Vegas when he took on another rising star, undefeated Joe Bunch. We go out to the Orleans Arena for the battle between Dollaway and Bunch.
And it would appear he would rather have a stand-up game, and just as I say that, he shoots in, and sprawling out on defense is Dollaway.
And here you see that long body, arching his back, getting the full sprawl. Now he can operate. He'll try to turn the corner.
Working that guillotine there with his right arm already. Dollaway putting the pressure on Bunch here, just starting the second round.
And he's almost in a mount position as well. That's all he needs to do is keep folding the chin towards the chest, and it works as a choke anyway. This is a tough position for Bunch.
I'm surprised that Bunch even tried to go back to the ground if at all he could keep from it. Yet he shoots in on Dollaway, and Dollaway is in control and may be able to choke him out here in the second.
Well, he's on his knees. He's not allowed to knee. You might hear the people yelling knee, but if Bunch is down on his knees, he's grounded. Can't knee to the head of a grounded fighter.
And, you know, that's his corner saying, go for the knees.
You can hit anywhere in the body, but not the head when you're grounded.
Dollaway wasn't able to get the guillotine in again. Bunch showing some defense, but once again, Bunch is in a position where he has no offense at all to give back here.
Even though he's not fully choking him, he is robbing him of some air there. Full mount.
Dollaway now in full.
No, he's in half mount,
And very quick. Yeah, half mount, but you figure he could maybe move in the next. Either way, this guy definitely continues to control the fight. And again, I was surprised that Joe Bunch early on in this second round shot in there and even thought about a takedown.
Now he's in full side mount. Now he can rain punches down. See if he brings his right knee up and puts it in Bunch's stomach, then he can get some leverage. Got an Americano going there, Fauna Kimura.
Gets a couple of elbows in, does Dollaway, and basically Dollaway still very much in control of this fight. It's been all CB Dollaway, and this is just his 4th pro fight.
Staying busy. There's full mount now.
He gets to full. Will this be his best ground and pound attempt?
Well, he's got him with the head against the fence. It's the worst place to be for Bunch. Nice elbow.
Again, he comes down with those forearms. Bunch is trying his best to keep this from becoming a deluge. You see the strength, though, of Dollaway as Dollaway continues to get him in. Bunch, can he get away from this? And he turtles up once again, gives his back to Dollaway, which doesn't affect Dollaway at all, does it?
No, I'm very impressed with Dollaway. He's using his wrestling magnificently to control the position, and he's not giving up the position. And that's probably the smartest thing, even though he's a young fighter. Doesn't go for too much, doesn't put himself or give his opponent something very easily.
And one thing for Joe Bunch, it has been a lot of defensive work so far. We have not seen any of his offensive game. A game that was well balanced coming into this. He'd had knockouts, he'd had submissions, but all he could do right now is try to keep Dollaway from delivering that one big punch or cranking that neck just a little more and choking him out here. And now once again in full, here's Dollaway.
He wants to bring those knees deep into the armpits a bunch so that he's way up towards the head. Otherwise, he's sitting on the hips. If Bunch bridges, that launches Dollaway.
Dollaway now trying to slam his forearm into Bunch. And here he comes repeatedly. Bunch able to shield some of those. They tell him, higher mount, try for the punches. Couple of sweeping rights, a straight right gets in. Dollaway is all over him. You wonder how much longer Bunch can hang in there. Dave Hagen, the referee, continues to patrol here. He's in full mount and in full control of this fight. Is Dollaway, and that is it. Wow. CB Dollaway puts on a display here tonight. Dominating from the outset and winning it here in the second round over Bunch.
Bunch tried takedowns. That is Mr. Dollaway's game as a wrestler, particularly a Division I wrestler. He's well equipped, and he was able to sprawl and then ground and pound.
As you take a look at the victorious CB Dollaway, it'll be a nice trip back to Tempe, Arizona as we take a look at some of the action in full mount here in the second round going to work.
And he's mainly using elbows here. He realizes at an early age elbows are better in that situation than throwing bombs with your fist and either carrying through with your follow through and putting yourself out of position. Elbows keep you directly above him. And here, just splitting the arms and continuing the rain blows down. CB Dollaway, a young fighter with a bright future.
And as you mentioned earlier, here is a national junior college champ. Here's a Division I All-American. You wonder again why Bunch even tried to take him to the ground.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Dave Hagen has put a stop to this contest at 4 minutes and 31 seconds of the second round. For your winner by TKO, CB Dollaway.
After providing Bunch with his first professional defeat, Dollaway's next fight would be the biggest test of his young career, facing veteran and armbar master Hans Marrero. All 11 of Marrero's wins came by way of armbars, and Dollaway would have to avoid his slick submissions to keep his winning streak alive. The site was the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas.
Well, there's Dollaway, who was one of the dominant wrestlers in Pac-10 history, did about everything he could at Arizona State. And all of his wins, basically, he likes to get it on the ground. That's the way he's going to fight his fights. He's been working on his stand-up game. We'll see if that comes into play here, especially with that big reach advantage that he has. But trying to shoot in is Marrero going for the takedown on Dollaway, and he gets it.
Yeah, he's not going to get it. He's stretched out right now. Watch for Dollaway to go ahead and start pounding.
Well, Dollaway
watch for the armbar. Watch for the armbar. That is king of the armbar is Marrero.
Well, that's the thing that Dollaway has to worry about. I don't know if he's fought anyone so far young in his career as good jiu-jitsu as Marrero is.
And Marrero doing a good job of staying down.
Look at now the cat move. The crowd loves it here. Marrero. A little gato there as he was trying to work his way in and kind of tease a little bit with that spinning back kick, CB Dollaway.
And watch that spinning back kick to a spinning back fist. Oh, nice
That's a good knee by Dollaway. That has Marrero down. He's out. It's over. This one is over. In the first, Dollaway delivers the knee that knocks out Marrero. And CB Dollaway is still unbeaten after 8 fights.
He got to the tie clinch, grabbing the collar of Marrero, and he's taller than Marrero, so he gets a lot better extension when he brings that knee up. And he was able to connect, put Marrero down, finished him with strikes. Dollaway has been exciting every time we've seen him.
Okay, let's take a look at the action here in the early going of this one.
And for some reason, Marrero put his head down right there. Here comes the knee.
That's it. That is it. He is out right there. And just in case Dollaway is, well, no one had moved in just yet. It took only a couple of more hammer fists, and that was it.
Come another angle at that. You can see how powerful that knee was. And he just knows what to do when he smells blood. Boy, Dollaway, an exciting fighter, still undefeated.
CB Dollaway getting the knockout here in the first. Let's go to Lupe to get the official time.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Steve Armstrong steps in and calls a halt to the bout with an official time of 1 minute, 7 seconds of the very first round. Your winner, by way of technical knockout, CB, the Doberman Dollaway.
The wrestler Dollaway proved he's more than just a ground fighter by dominating Marrero in the stand-up game and then finishing him off with a barrage of strikes. Although it was clear Marrero's head was not in the fight, take nothing away from Dollaway, who crushed a strong, established fighter to remain undefeated. Another HDNet Fights veteran who proved unbeatable in 2007 was Columbus, Ohio's Cory Mahon. Nicknamed the Irish Car Bomb, Mahon's strengths include jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, wrestling, and boxing. Surprisingly for a guy who got his degree in philosophy and religious studies. Mahon went for his 8th straight win against Chris Bowles at HDNet Fights' Reckless Abandon.
Bowles has only 3 times in his career gone past the first round. Mahon only twice past the first round.
And every one of Bowles' victories have come by submission. Trey Telligman, Alex Andrade, a couple of veteran MMA fighters, especially Telligman. He was around in the early days of the Lions Den. Good fighter, successful coach.
Bowles a slight height advantage, about 1.5 inches or 2. He drops him with the left. Bowles sneaks the left in, and Mahon is stunned here early.
Takes his back. Here comes guard.
Mahon quick, able to recover.
But that's got to be a huge amount of confidence for House. House loves the ground. So if he's able to do damage standing, he is a confident individual right now.
Might have been surprised a little bit. Bowles certainly not known for his punching power, Jeff.
Well, he might have been overlooking it, thinking of just his offense. Didn't focus on his defense, got caught. See if House can take advantage of the top here. Trying to work that left leg out. Nearly there, full mount.
Full mount for Chris Bowles.
Back to half guard again.
Not known, though, for the ground and pound as much, again, as trying to work on the limbs or around the neck area.
Half butterfly here by Mahon.
Bowles right now has thrown 19 strikes, 10 have landed. Got in some punches on the side there. Doesn't appear to be doing a lot of damage to Mahon, but certainly has kept the youngster from Indiana on the defense here in this first round. It all started with a sneaky left from Bowles.
Mahon doing a nice job of averting the fence, not getting his head backed into it.
Mahon will brace that left foot against the cage.
Body hand. When his legs like that, you can also bring your knee through the pass, Chris. Busy. Come on, Chris.
Mahon has some game here on the ground. Good guard. Excellent defense. Stymieing House.
Chris Bowles standing up now. trying to see if he can come down and come inside better on Mahon than he was in close quarters.
Threw a little triangle at House there, excuse me, Bowles there, but was unable to score.
Mahon trying to stand up. Bowles muscles him back to the ground.
Mahon's got a very active guard.
Body hand.
It's posing problems for Bowles to try to find a submission. And this is how you soften him up.
Has thrown 30 strikes, 17 landings so far. This could be some kind of first-round record for Chris Bowles, not known for his striking ability.
Well, you take what your opponent gives you, and if you're so worried about the submission, you soften him up with the strikes. Mahon bringing the legs up high, looking for his own submission attempt. You saw one triangle, but back down they go. I heard Teligman going fists, asking for strikes from Bowles.
And Mahon is up and springs out of that.
Mahon is the ever-ready battery here. I mean, he is not showing any signs of letting up. This is a blistering pace thus far.
If it went by conditioning, these are the kind of guys that probably you think could go 8 or 9 rounds. I mean, conditioning probably at the top of their game for both guys. Even though, as we mentioned, Mahon comes in here having the advantage in age.
Yeah, and that's what you wonder. Will that be a factor? But when you think of Randy Couture and others who are so successful in their 30s, even into their 40s, why can't Mr. Bowles do the same thing?
Mahon is coming around. There's Bowles again. Bowles again lands that left, slipping as much as anything, though, was Mahon, but he felt it again. Chris Bowles has done some impressive work with the striking here in this first round. Final seconds of round 1.
It seems that Bowles got a little bit longer reach.
Bowles does,
yeah. When he throws the punch, he's getting out farther.
And Bowles trying to get a couple more in for good measure. That is the end of the first 5 minutes. Cory Mahon, you see that bloody nose. He ate a couple of big punches from Chris Bowles.
Got a little bit of a black eye as well.
Let's take a look at these stats, and what's really going to jump out is the strike attempts thrown by Chris Bowles, 49, 23 of those landing, and 16 of Bowles, 23 strikes landed in the ground position. He wasn't able to get a submission, so he said, look, I can throw some punches.
And that's how you soften him up to get him to bring his arms up, and he's worried about blocking a strike. That's when you can submit him.
Had that one real good left that stunned Cory Mahon in the very early going of this fight as round 2 is underway. Bowles in the black. Mahon showing good ground defense, and he had to show a lot of it through this first 5 minutes. Now delivers a kick, gets the crowd screaming a little bit. Bowles shows one of his own that comes nowhere near landing but keeps him honest.
A little Superman jump punch there. Mahon smiling at Bowles after he threw it. But I like Mahon's aggressiveness, boy. He is pushing Bowles and forcing the action.
Bowles again with the left. That has been his most effective punch. And Bowles the single leg takedown.
And that was easy for Bowles. One arm on the leg puts him down.
Well, again, Bowles 8 victories, all by way of submission. Don't want to get too carried away with his striking ability here. This is supposed to be his specialty when he has him on the ground working the side.
Half guard by Mahon, able to defend himself. He's got that underhook too, and that poses a problem for Bowles. Coming out now he can strike if he comes up.
It's only the 3rd time in 8 fights that Cory Mahon has gone into the 2nd round.
Kimura attempt now by Mahon.
The crafty Bowles not giving him much to work with right now.
Now he's holding his own belly, so he can't pull it out. Mahon lets it go. It just seems that Bowles can't get settled on top of Mahon to either get that submission, and right now not even able to strike.
And again, he works the body. Chris Bowles He might be throwing more punches tonight than he has in any fight of his life.
Well, you're trapped in a guard, dropping the elbows, and also a very good tactic, and thus far, Bowles has not done it. Right there. Had a shot at doing it right there.
Some blood coming from the nose and possibly around the eye there of Cory Mahon. And Chris Bowles kind of punch, and Bowles has a cut.
Looks like
that's coming from Bowles.
Looks like it's on the forehead.
Now Bowles standing up, trying to come straight down with his punching.
Again, elbows right here. Drop elbows.
Mahon, obviously, he might have caught him. He might have caught him with one of those elbows. That looks like that kind of cut that is over the bridge of the nose of Chris Bowles right now. And there's a knee and another knee by Cory Mahon. His best striking so far. He'll go for the takedown. Did he roll right into a guillotine, though, as Chris Bowles tries to choke him out?
And it looked like Bowles was going to be able to sink it, and he ran out of turf. They hit the cage wall, and he winds up on bottom.
That sure looks like an elbow cut, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I didn't see, though, any elbow from the bottom. Not sure how that started.
Somewhere in this round, Chris Bowles started bleeding. That was a cut opened up around the bridge of his nose.
Mahon has his back. Doesn't have a rear naked choke yet. And he's in a little bit of trouble himself. He's let his right hip down.
Well, Mahon knows what to do in this position. 6 of his 7 wins coming via submission.
Now he's in a good position.
The only thing is he's taking on a submission master himself in Bowles. Got a punch into the side of the right side of the ear of Bowles. Bowles is looking tired right now.
He's caught in a figure 4. See how the legs lock there? Figure 4, but he turns into it and he gets around. Armbar. There it is.
Bowles taps. He turned around and right into the armbar. He turned right into Cory Mahon's submission attempt, and Mahon runs his record to 8-0 with the armbar victory over a very game Chris Bowles.
And let me tell you, Mahon, he is that ever-ready buddy. He just doesn't get tired. He pushed the pace, said he was going to do it, and he exerted his will and got the victory.
For only the 3rd time in his career, Chris Mahon goes past the first round, and here in the second round, he is able to submit a very crafty veteran in Chris Bowles with this armbar.
Yeah, Bowles turned into him. He was in good position. He just let that leg come around the front of his face, and it set the armbar.
There you see Bowles had that cut that opened up in the second round over his left eye. And Bowles suffering only his 2nd loss in 10 career fights.
Give Mahon credit. He was on his back a lot, and he never once got in trouble with his submission.
Let's go to Lupe now for the official time of that victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout concludes with an official time of 4 minutes, 20 seconds of the second round. Your winner, by way of armbar submission, Cory Mahon.
Mahon showed the composure of a veteran as he took some punishment early, but was able to survive Bowles' attack and then wait for his chance to lock in the armbar. Expect big things from the philosopher Cory Mahon in 2008. From Dallas, Texas to Tokyo, Japan, HDNet Fights capped off a huge year by traveling to the land of the rising sun for the Yarennoka card. Making the 12-hour trip with us was American Mike Russow, a wrestler from Chicago, Illinois. With only 7 total fights to his credit, Russow would have his hands full with his experienced opponent, Roman Zentsov. The Russian came in with almost 4 times the fights Russow had and a lot more time in the ring. It was New Year's Eve in Japan, and there's no bigger stage than Tokyo for a fight.
This is the first of what is scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds. Early on, feeling each other, and now they get it to the ground.
Good left. He was a little bit out of position, so he wasn't took that shot, but he sucked it in really nice, got his hips underneath him, was able to get him up in the air. Man and half guard needs to get one hand free. He'll start getting at least a little peppering shot. Zentsov's not going to go away quietly.
Work right out of that.
This weight advantage that Russow has.
Holding too much. Action, boss. Both action.
Does that become a factor, do you think, here, as now he tries to get to ground and pound action going?
As the later the round goes, the later the fight gets into it, you start getting the 12, 13, 14th minute. Yeah, so that extra weight is really going to start kind of going out.
He's okay. He's okay.
Great push pass. He really hasn't been doing it. It's almost a drag pass. Going right into a head and arm choke on the front side. He's a little bit out of position here, and Zentsov is so big, though, that it is easy to get this as tight as possible because he doesn't have much space. You can see him grabbing the armpit, trying to get the air back around. Zentsov's in a lot of trouble right here, even though it doesn't look like much. And the fact that Russow is so strong, he can actually make this a lot more painful than more than a choke because of his strength in his shoulders and his arms.
Mike Russow trying to take the initiative here, and so far he is dictating the pace of the very early going of round number 1, getting Zentsov to the mat.
Now, Zentsov wants to get out of this. See, his legs are laying flat on the ground. You don't see much hip movement. If he wants to get out of this, he has to move his legs and his hips. You just lay there. You've got, like Russow, a chance just to punish you. There's no purpose to it. Move your body. Try to get yourself back at least a half guard, if not all the way to full guard.
Tight chest, tight hip.
Russow has wrapped him up early and continues to try to work in a position, I would imagine, Frank, where he's going to try to see if he can get another ground and pound going against Zentsov.
As you can see him on the top side, great camera angles in this nice side position. He's in a position here, he can either pop a knee on top or, as he's doing, swing all the way out to north-south. And although he didn't lock it up and gave Zentsov a little position to move, he's so good and agile at the ground position. Russow is just able to hold it down.
Real nice. Don't be afraid to hop to the other
Listen how
side.
quiet the crowd has gotten since just a few minutes ago. There's a nice knee by Russow.
Stay active, Mike. You can go knee on belly on him, Mike. Roman, no holding too much. Good.
We can overhear some of the conversation coming from Russow's corner. They're encouraging him, of course, with the way the fight's going at this moment. He slammed Zentsov early and has been in control of the ground.
So it doesn't look like much is happening to those of you new to MMA. There's a lot of action going on here. He keeps reapplying, reworking his front head and arm choke, trying to get it. And he's just let the arm loose. Now he's got it sunk in a little bit deeper, just a head choke. You can see this is it.
That may be it. Yep. Russow's done it. Methodically, Mike Russow takes control.
He did a really good job. He kept working. They finally said, okay, I'm going to get this position. I'm able to, to finally slide it off. He just needed to lose the arm to actually sink it in better because Zentsov is so big in the shoulders. It's hard for him. And it's just amazing. I just don't think that Zentsov is ready to put himself in the limelight that Fredo has kind of brought to the team. And he just seems to be a little bit more, losing more on anxiety than on his abilities. We've seen his abilities in the past, and obviously Russow, now has proven, at least to the other fans, I've already been a fan of his, but the other fans, hey, look, now he's ready for the bigger stage.
Big win then for Russow tonight, and he closes out his 2007 campaign with a 5-1 record. It's certainly a happy new year for Russow and all of his family and friends in Chicago.
To quickly execute a north-south choke on a fighter who's been in the cage with Andrei Arlovsky and Pedro Rizzo automatically got Mike Russow into the show. That was an enormous victory for Russow, and he told me after the fight that it was easily the biggest win of his life. We go from an incredibly technical fight in Tokyo to a good old-fashioned beatdown in Portland, Oregon. 23-year-old Cory Devela calls his fighting style cowboy karate, and former Ultimate Fighter participant Lodune Sincaid experienced firsthand what that meant. To warn you, this one gets extremely bloody.
Merry Christmas to all right now. A brawl is broken out here on Sport Fight. As we go into round 2, and the same tactic. Devela backsends Sincaid to the corner and starts swinging away. Got an elbow in there as well.
This is a beatdown at this point.
I mean, this is an old-fashioned move the bar stools away. This is John Wayne and Clint Eastwood.
And here comes Sincaid, where he finds this strength. His corner screaming to bring him to the ground.
I tell you, the way Devela, who we know has been winning by way of submission, but the way he keeps punching, I don't know, Jeff, if he shouldn't just stand back up if he can. Blood is gushing out of the nose now of Sincaid. that and above the left eye.
Sincaid is clearly in trouble now. Referee's going to be watching closely.
Devela has tattooed the face of Lodune Sincaid throughout this fight.
Doing a nice job. This is a basic cross-body ride in wrestling. Got the arm, he pulled that out, go for a guillotine move, which is really a stretcher. Very painful. But Sincaid just maneuvering enough not to let him get it.
I wonder what would happen if they get back on their feet. I bet Devela would back him in a corner and throw a lot more punches.
I would stay away from the ground. Now if he can get back up right here, arch. If he can arch him down, there it is. Devela now firmly in control. Should be winging punches in on the side.
He's got to get something going here. Sean Gregory looking on to make sure. Now he gets a couple of elbows in there on the side.
Devela doing a great job once again. If he can get that little arch in. Flatten him to his belly. Right there, he's down again.
These punches more aggravating. That elbow will sting, but the punch is more aggravating than effective. You see the blood continue to pour out of the head of Sincaid, a busted nose, a cut over his left eye. Devela has delivered all the punishment in this fight except for one right by Sincaid that looked like would turn it around, and since then it's been all Cory Devela. And you wonder now if Sincaid
he is taking a beating.
Yeah, has he got any kind of hope of trying to get anything going here? Devela is totally in control of this. He'll try to choke him out. That's not going to work, so he'll just keep punching away. Sincaid's corner yelling for him to scramble. Try it if he can, if he has any breathing room at all to try to get back up, or at least get out of that position.
But Devela likes this position because he can't get hit. So why not stay here and just keep throwing punches?
And Sincaid can't get away. His corner urging him to try to get away if he can. There's no way Sincaid can land any kind of punch. Can do much of anything in this position.
Yeah, face down. Not going to happen. You see the face of Sincaid. It is a bloody mess at the moment. All from the strikes of that top man, Devela, who is, from the get-go of this fight, has been in his face throwing leather.
Well, Devela's on the win streak. Devela is the guy that wins by way of submission. He's won 5 times that way. He's won 4 straight. He defeated John Crone here by way of Kimura. That was back in October. We didn't know that Devela was the puncher that he's come out to be tonight.
What a stand-up game he had. And it's all been ground game in this round.
Lodune Sincaid with a cut now as well on his head to go along with the one on his eye and his nose. He is looking like Christmas meatloaf here in the second round. Well, that got your appetite ready for the big day, didn't it, Jeff?
Well, what it made me think about was I said that about Rhino. You know, he's no Rhino puncher, but I'll tell you what, if the result is the same, Sincaid is a bloody mess.
That's it. This is Devela's fight, and it continues to go on. You just wonder how much more punishment can Sincaid take, or does he have one more right hand in him that can get him back in this fight? That's the end of round 2.
And I promise you the doctors are going to be looking at him in the corner.
Lodune Sincaid's corner, the busiest one of the night here, as they do a lot of work here to stop bleeding from all over the place. Looks like a road map that's gotten out of hand, that face right now.
You know, and he does have that gash on his head.
Let's take a look here, Jeff, at once again, when Devela got it on the ground, I was a little surprised, but heck, he's doing a bunch of damage here too.
Yeah, why not stay here? He can't get hit. He doesn't have to worry about the right hand. As long as he just keeps belly down with the hooks in, he is doing tremendous. And there you see the cut on the head just oozing blood.
There you look at Lodune Sincaid, 34 years old, a veteran, 21 wins, 5 losses coming in here. And he's faced some tough opponents, Doug Marshall, Mayhem Miller, and add to that Cory Devela to this list. It has been Devela's fight all the way except for one Sincaid punch, a right that knocked Devela down in the first round.
And I don't think Sincaid's legs are under him right now. He was off balance coming across the ring.
He's trying to hold on here, and hold on is the operative phrase. Now he's getting a few punches into the side. Not sure about Devela's strategy here, Jeff, in the early going of this third round.
Oh, he had the leg. He moved his right hand up. I don't know why Devela did it. He could have gotten the takedown.
And
he
they
had a
move
decent
along
single.
here.
And here he goes
back
again.
for the punches.
He just gets off first and gets off often.
Sincaid trying to push him away. Again, the action taking place right in front of us here. Sincaid back against the ropes. Devela is tired, as you would imagine. He has thrown at least, would you guess 120 punches in this fight?
I would say it's got to be close to that.
Taking a stab, I would say unofficially around 120, 125. And he's landed half
most
of those or more.
Yeah, I'd say most of them.
I mean, really solid punches.
And it seems in the beginning, Sincaid was content to take a few of those to try to get his one in. And now the gorilla will end up on top.
Well, Lodune Sincaid, he has to do something here. This fight is all Cory Devela's unless he can have a drastic turnaround in the final 3 minutes and 7 seconds.
And I can't believe after all this time, Devela gave him this position. The one position that Sincaid needed to get back in this fight, maybe end it. But you wonder how much is taken out of Sincaid. He has taken a beating. And even though he's on top right now, he's not that active. He's waiting.
Reaching for that punch. That blood on Devela is coming from Lodune Sincaid.
But Devela doesn't even look like he's marked.
I don't think he is.
And those punches are just one haymaker, and that's it.
Sincaid keeps bleeding on him, though. He's looking like a Jackson Pollock. Lodune Sincaid, you would think at this stage he's got to try to come up with one big punch, and Cory Devela holding on to his hands. I know that's easier said than done right now, Jeff, but I don't know if it's worth him trying to stand back up here and take a shot, one more big punch. I don't know if he can deliver enough damage on the ground.
I mean, Sincaid's got to feel right now that he needs to score. Kimura attempt by Devela, though, is going to end the punching.
Yeah, Devela may even submit him here after throwing all those punches. You would have to think Sincaid knows he's got to get a knockout. A submission or a knockout's the only way he can win this fight.
Well, he isn't going to get it from the bottom.
Exactly.
He is just going to get more pain down here. And I'd be looking for the referee now to be merciful. It's not going to happen for him.
Cory Devela again. He was bragging to us yesterday. He's such a likable guy. Yeah, I won $200 my first pro fight, went to the bar, bought everybody drinks. He could stay all weekend with the paycheck he's going to get tonight.
Did you find out where he's going later? I think the cowgirl, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, Lodune Sincaid,
he's doing his best, but he just can't get out from underneath. What a heart on Sincaid to be able to take this.
And what a hard head. This guy is taking punch after punch throughout this fight. I mean, this is patty cake compared to what he was absorbing in the first 2 rounds. Devela, though, still gets an elbow in.
Devela just not stopping. He just continues
this
to
is,
throw.
this is the picture tells 1,000 words here, doesn't it? If you just tuned in, there's no doubt who's winning this fight. This is exactly as it looks. Lodune Sincaid on the bottom is being pounded throughout this fight by Cory Devela. And a few more for good measure. And that is the end of this fight. Cory Devela dominating Lodune Sincaid.
And I don't know what they call it in Portland, but that's called a beatdown.
That is line them up at the old bar. That's the saloon. Let's move the sawdust and swing away kind of fight tonight we saw from Devela and Sincaid.
Well, the guy doing most of the swinging was Devela, and he hit him often and hard.
But the only thing he has to worry about is wiping the blood off now, not his own.
And we got to be kind of careful where we move as well. But that man, Devela, is only 23 years old. And he looked like a veteran in there, sharpshooter with those hands.
And he's paced himself. This is only his 9th pro fight. He's not been the big rush, picks his spots, moves in.
I mean, Dennis Hallman in Cowboy Karate, I'm a fan.
Well, that was a little bit of a...
There he is.
Now we'll see the Cowboy Karate pose. I think it's more of a pose than anything else. Now he's going for the Ralph Macchio.
That was it. What did they call that? The Karate Kid, the crane?
It's indefensible. Indefensible, the crane. He didn't have to worry about that tonight. He was on the offense 98% of this fight, as the face of Lodune Sincaid will tell. The judges have reached a decision. I would take a bet on this fight. Any idea how it's going to go?
Well,
Let's go to Tim to get the official result from the judges.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout again gets turned over to the judges, and once again this evening we have a unanimous decision. All 3 judges scoring the bout 30-26 for your winner, Cory Devela.
I'm not sure how Lodune Sincaid actually survived that smackdown. The guy has got one solid skull. Cory Devela improved to 7-1 with the convincing victory. We end tonight's program with a rematch between 2 of the top middleweights in all of mixed martial arts, Tim Kennedy and Jason Mayhem Miller. Back in 2003, Kennedy beat Miller by way of a judge's decision, and then their careers went in 2 completely different directions. Kennedy joined the Army, won the Bronze Star in Iraq, and basically put his MMA career on hold for the next 3 years. Jason Miller continued to fight full-time and won 12 of his next 14 bouts against some top competition. Almost 5 years later, the 2 would meet again, this time in the main event of HDNet Fights, Reckless Abandon.
And round 1 is underway. Good kick by Miller. Kennedy gets the takedown. It's on.
It almost looked like Kennedy hurt his leg with that leg kick. Miller now working the guard. Kennedy trying to pass.
Kennedy has faced accomplished fighters, but this is the toughest fighter we believe he's faced since he last faced Miller in 2003. And Miller going to work here.
And Miller's keeping himself upright.
Staying right in there.
Gives Kennedy a hard time in trying to move up the body.
Flashes the guillotine a little bit to keep him honest.
No knees, no knees.
Can't hit there with the knees because he's grounded.
Right against the fence. There's Miller.
That's illegal, he's grounded.
And moving in quickly is Kerry Hatley to explain it to Tim Kennedy.
Let's go, let's go.
Jason Miller doesn't appear upset.
If you hit and comes right up, okay, here we go, ready? Let's go.
Well, they broke the position for some reason, and I don't know exactly why. Did he throw a knee? Did he throw a rounding elbow?
Well, either way, they're back and fighting. The last time they met, it was a little closer to no holds barred. Knees on the ground were allowed. That was a fight in Utah, Ruse. That was 4 years ago. But getting a warning here in the first round is Tim Kennedy. Oh. Kennedy follows up with a good combination.
It's a second right hand in a row for Kennedy.
Kennedy's punching appears to be better. For a man known mostly for his groundwork. And now Kennedy again. Keeping Miller away with those big swings. Kennedy has landed 10 of 24 strikes.
These two are teeing off on each other. Miller likes to kick.
Miller again, that smacking kick. Trying to counter out of that is Tim Kennedy.
Now Miller moving in and out, and he's scoring effectively doing it.
Superman attempt. Short by Kennedy. Right against the fence they go. And to the mat.
So we might see a suplex here. Miller comes up.
Kennedy trying for the high knee.
See if he'll throw him here.
Miller looks very comfortable right now. He's right in front of us on the fence. Kennedy trying for the trip.
Miller with good takedown defense here in the clinch.
Miller gets a knee in. And now he's thrown down by Kennedy. Up, right back up is Miller. As they continue to tango along the fence here. Each fighter landing over 40% of their strikes. Kennedy has landed 16 out of 38 so far. And he does have the one takedown.
Miller now getting more active.
Miller throwing the kick, but grabbing the leg and taking him down is Kennedy.
And they're out in the center. Kennedy may have a chance to work now.
Kennedy trying to get around and get in for that rear naked choke action. Not going to happen right now. Almost got it in that time. Slipped in and out.
Silva drops some elbows. In a good position to do it. He wants to get the mount. Tells me he wants to ground and pound.
He's trying, but
he's got it.
Now he gets there briefly.
Now he takes his back. Let's see if he goes for the rear naked again.
Instead, he gets in a couple more punches, does Tim Kennedy.
And he steal the round here with this big effort at the end.
Kennedy with a pair of takedowns and a submission attempt in addition to strikes. He has been the aggressive fighter. Now he's going for the rear naked choke. He has that right arm in, but maybe Miller will make it through. Yeah, final seconds, so Kennedy will try to unload and get a few more strikes in.
Miller taking punishment for those bombs.
Impressive at the start of this fight. And receiving a lecture from referee Kerry Hatley as he goes back to his corner about early on in this fight. A blow while he was down. Anyway, this is the action in the middle of the cage. And shooting in and getting the single leg takedown here is Kennedy. And then Kennedy getting some punches in. Kennedy with 2 takedowns in that first round. He landed on 20 of his 53 strike attempts. Kennedy, the more aggressive fighter in that first round as we take a look at the CompuStrike stats. And you see the 3 submission attempts by Kennedy, very active. Miller had one of his own.
Let's see what happens right now.
Kennedy probably run that round with that big burst at the end of the first round.
Kennedy, the more aggressive fighter throughout so far as round 2 gets ready. Kennedy trying for combinations, missing with the kick. A little bit of redness on the right eye of Jason Miller.
Nice combination, right, left hook kick.
Kennedy has stayed with that game plan here in the first round plus.
Circle out, circle out.
Kennedy gets away. Miller trying to get the takedown. Instead, it's Kennedy now will try to work here.
He's got to be careful. He can take his back. He's trying to squeeze around the arm. He's going to get there. He's got his back.
Let's see if Kennedy can go to work.
He's holding the wrists.
Tried for the rear naked choke earlier. Could not get it. Will try to get it in again. Not this time, but instead, he's able to get in a couple of good punches. Got a big hook in to the side of the face of Jason Miller.
He's in a tough position to go for the rear naked because he can't arch and extend the body of Miller. Now he's got a shot.
Kennedy once again trying to get it in. You see Miller, though, still active, trying to push away.
This is where you don't want to burn all your energy trying to force a move that's not there.
Well, Kennedy already has thrown 19 strikes, landing 6 of them in this round. And once again, trying to work on the RNC.
And he's not sure. No, he's not under the neck, and he's going to get swept. Good job by Miller tucking his chin. Kennedy unable to sink that rear naked choke, and now Miller has an opportunity in ground and pound. Kennedy pulling on the head to close the distance, but Miller working with his left hand.
Miller throwing some punches, nothing effective so far.
Kennedy now underneath the hips with his feet. He might be able to push him away. Miller settles back into top, half guard by Kennedy.
Well, at this stage, and you wonder if Kerry Hatley will consider standing him up here in just a moment.
If there's no more action, he can do so.
It's improved, it's improved.
You hear him saying improved.
I think we're probably getting close to that. Miller
starting to wear on Kennedy here.
Right against the fence now, but can Miller get in position for strikes? That's what he's trying to do.
Dropped a good elbow.
Kennedy standing up out of it is Kennedy, and now Kennedy gets the single leg trying to. Miller fights it off.
Kimura attempt by Miller. Kennedy locked his hands back.
Now Miller's got him, or Kennedy rather has that right leg of Miller.
Somebody's bleeding pretty good. It's all over the left foot of Miller. So it must be Kennedy.
And trying to spin around to the side now is Miller. And now Miller moving over to the side. There is a cut on Tim Kennedy's face around the eye bridge of the nose area.
And there was a good drop elbow by Miller earlier, and that might have done that damage.
Well, as we've seen before, elbows create a lot of blood, even if they don't always really hurt the opponent.
I think they're going to stand him here.
Hatley is. Now he wants a timeout. Look at the blood on the face of Tim Kennedy. And that's the timeout call. They're going to take a look at Kennedy and see if he can continue on here. We're guessing it's a cut by an elbow, certainly a cut, and it's gushing blood right now. Right down the bridge of the nose. That is a big cut. There's a lot of blood that comes out of that.
But it's not in a bad position. It's not in a bad position. He can't continue. It's not affecting his vision.
Well, it's not going to hurt him. That's for sure. But the
other cuts we saw,
if it opens up and the blood comes out again, we'll see. Anyway, it's Miller and Kennedy as they resume.
It affects the vision. That's when they usually stop.
Miller kind of smiles a little bit as Kennedy comes out and tries to get in an uppercut. Kennedy now perhaps sensing urgency with that cut that he better try to get this thing over if he can. because it's opened up again and blood is pouring out. You wonder how much longer he can go before they'll call it.
You certainly don't want to change your game plan just because you got that one cut. Continue to do what you've been doing.
You have to wonder in the back of their mind, though, are they thinking they'll stop this fight?
Yeah, you're right.
I'm good,
that's there. There's no question. Right. But the place of that cut is in a good spot for Kennedy.
Final seconds of the round. Miller trying to get a few more punches in.
And Kennedy will have an opportunity for his corner to work on that cut.
Look at Jason Miller. There's Tim Kennedy.
Let's see if there's an elbow here. Miller does a real nice job of just dropping a bomb. Right there. That might have done it.
That might have been it.
There's blood already on the face there. You can see it on the right side of Kennedy, so that probably was the elbow.
You see the work being done in the corner of Tim Kennedy. That is a deep cut across the bridge of the nose. 14 of Miller's 18 landed strikes were from the ground position in the second round, as Jason Miller coming on strong to dominate that round.
I think both these guys have both looking very eager to finish right now. We're going to see a great
Well, I've got it 1-1. Kennedy won the first. Miller won the second.
Here we go with the deciding third round as we look at the CompuStrike stats. Again, we mentioned the big second round for Miller. Those the cumulative totals. Miller picking up the pace in that second round. Kennedy won a decision. The only other time they've met 4.5 years ago.
Clinching against the fence, Kennedy wants a takedown. And he gets mounted. Miller now firmly in control.
The momentum clearly switching to Jason Miller in that second round and continuing here.
Butterfly guard by Kennedy, he might make it up.
Blood again pouring from the nose of Kennedy, and the blood is coming in his eyes now. You wonder about his vision.
Well, that will be the telling tale.
Blood in his left eye area.
I'm sure Miller's going to aim some of his strikes directly at the bridge of the nose. Kennedy getting his heels under, he'll try to kick Miller back and push him away.
I wonder if he can, if Kennedy can get back on his feet, if he'll try to use some more of the stand-up game. He was effective with that in the first round. Miller again, 12 of his wins by way of submission. He's very comfortable here on the ground.
Miller trying to pull the left leg out, get to guard, or get to mount. Kennedy able to keep that one knee in there. But it does look like the other. Oh, he's going for oh, look at Miller playing
the heel hook. And there's Miller saying, what, me worried? That was the Alfred E. Newman move.
That was the pro wrestling move. Talking with the audience while you're fighting. But that also tells you how confident and in control Miller is at this point. Mayhem Miller draws blood and has since controlled the fight.
That blood is all over the face of Kennedy. And that comes from a small cut above the bridge of the nose, by the way. This has not been a pounding that Kennedy's taken, but it would look that way if you just tuned in. It would look like Rob Zombie has stepped in and started directing this fight.
Well, let's see what happens now. The doc will take a look. If he just wipes the eye clean and says the cut's not any worse, they may let him continue.
Well, you see Kerry Hatley and the physicians looking on. You see that cut. Anytime there's a little bit of pressure, it's going to gush out. It's not hurting Kennedy, other than when he's on his back, the blood is getting around his eye.
They're going to let him go.
They're going to let this fight go. This guy is a decorated Army Ranger. You know Tim Kennedy wants to continue on.
Yeah,
the question is now, what
does he have to do here to get the momentum of this fight back?
Get a takedown, get on top, and he's down. The blood will run in the eye. When he's on top, it'll run off the face.
Well, he threw a lot of strikes early. Not many since then.
Well, Miller got the takedown in that clinch position. He shouldn't be afraid to strike, but he doesn't want to give up another takedown.
Kennedy on defense, backed up against the fence. And Miller trying to force the action, get it back to the ground.
And Kennedy gets what he desperately needed. He's on top. Miller now on defense. Let's see what Kennedy can do.
You think at this stage Kennedy needs a submission?
He rushed it.
That's not going to do it.
Yeah, he rushed that mount. I don't think he needed to try to go to mount.
You almost wonder about his punching ability.
Plata couldn't get it. Good job by Miller countering.
Jason Miller regaining control of this fight.
And if it stays here, Miller will win. Full guard by Kennedy, but he needs a sweep. He needs to get back on top. I think he just rushed that mount a little bit. Miller waited for him to take the mount and then bridged him through.
Well, Miller landing 62% of his strikes. He has the takedown. Kennedy, first round very impressive. It was his tempo. He dictated that first round. Miller turned it around in the second with strikes that cut over the bridge of Kennedy's nose. It's not hurting, but perhaps has limited some of his vision. And he has just not been able to get in the groove here in this third round. Jason Miller in control. It appears that Miller is going to get his revenge.
Miller going right after hammer fists to the face, and that's going to open up that cut again. But he won the takedown war, and I think that has been the difference so far. Miller on top has been effective.
And Miller trying to close out with a flourish. Couple of big knees to the side. Another one for effect, just in case the judges haven't made up their mind.
Great job by Jason Miller. He won that standing battle to be able to
seconds. For the second time, Kennedy and Miller have gone the distance. And the crowd appreciates the action here in Dallas as you look at Mayhem Miller. Great respect he has for his friend Tim Kennedy, not just for what he's done in the cage, but for his Army service. Kennedy, though, his toughest fight since he last beat Miller over 4.5 years ago. And he fought hard tonight.
Do I hear a rematch for the rubber shot there? I think so.
Miller a 25-9 edge in strikes landed. 23 from the ground. It was all Miller in that third round, and he turned the fight around in the second.
100% correct. And Miller showed a lot there, especially in his ground game. He could defend against submissions, he could ground and pound, but most of all, and I think this is the biggest difference, he controlled the takedowns.
Let's look at the final CompuStrike stats. And the big one that jumps out there as well is the Tim Kennedy, the submission attempts, the takedowns. But look at 100 thrown strikes by Miller. He landed on 55 of them.
Well, I know Miller had at least 2 takedowns. He ended up on top twice. So I'm not sure why CompuServe only had 1, but he was up on top twice with takedowns.
Miller looking confident. The judges have made their decision. 3 judges here cage side in Dallas. Remember, they met in February 2003. Tim Kennedy won a decision. Michael Buffer has the verdict of the judges.
We go to the scorecards for our main event of the evening. Robert Basinger, Mike Mitchell, and Steve Armstrong all scored about the same, 29-28, to the winner by unanimous decision, Jason Mayhem
what turned out to be a 3-round war, Mayhem Miller was finally able to avenge his earlier loss to Tim Kennedy. Showing an incredible amount of class, Miller called Kennedy the true hero in his post-fight interview and went on to thank him for all he has sacrificed for our country. Don't be surprised if these two superstars meet again in a rubber match. That's going to do it for this look at some of tomorrow's MMA champions. Remember the names because these guys are the future of mixed martial arts. For the entire HDNet crew, I'm Ron Kruk, and we'll see you next time in the cage.
HDNet Fights, packing your night with enough knockouts.
Unbelievable! That is not supposed to happen!
An edge of your seat battle.
This is crazy!
You won't know what hit you.
Whoa!
Featuring Zach George, Matt Horridge, Frank Trigg, and Fedor Emelianenko. HDNet Fights, furious finishes. Friday at 10:30 Eastern on HDNet, your new home for MMA.